Well, Gray Soul, you curl up for a nap because healing is exhausting. And you literally came out of there completely tapped.
Especially when my group mates are hitting the floor every other turn.
Yeah, yeah. So, but as usual for you, sleep comes with a price. And you being a half elf, you don't really sleep. You more go into like your trance. So you find a quiet corner of the shop. Uh, you actually find Keegan lets you into the storeroom so you can have some quiet and isolation. He shuts the door. Darkness envelops the room. You assume you sit and you let your mind just drift. And you hope that the only darkness in this room is just the absence of actual light. Sadly, that doesn't seem to be the case. As your consciousness drifts, it drifts from the workshop, the smell of grease and metal, and wood barrels and dust and metal shavings, and the cold stone floor. Your mind drifts, and it drifts to someplace dark and cold, someplace else dark and cold. Instead of feeling the still air of a workshop, you feel the rush of a breeze across your skin. It gives you goosebumps. And even though your elven eyes or half elven eyes are normally very good at piercing the darkness, you find that in this place you cannot see. Darkness has totally consumed you. But you know that it is dark because you feel one with it. As the light begins to filter through your senses, you see you are in an immense cavern of stone. Instead of the hewn rocks of the workshop and the bricks of the building, you now feel yourself surrounded. Your consciousness now feels surrounded with cave walls. The light that now plays off the cave walls, creating shadows that jump and dance with strange figures. That light comes from cages that hold writhing insect-like beasts whose pods give off a soft red glow, and not like a warm, inviting red, a cautionary red, a dangerous red. This is the color of warning. This is not a welcome sign. It's a soft red, angry, bloody glow. You look around at these cages and you look around at these insectoid beasts inside there, and you turn and notice a small boy standing there staring at you. Less than a decade old. He has black, unkempt hair that falls in front of his face. He shakes it, and you could see that his eyes glisten with fresh tears. They run down his freckled face. You recognize this boy. You've never seen this boy before. You've never seen this child, but you recognize him as Tarim, one of the kidnapped orphans. You don't know why you know this, but you know this with more certainty than you've ever known anything else in your life. You know this from the depths of your soul, that this is Tarim. As if you can feel the resonance of his very life force. You look down at your hands and you can see that you are not you. Instead of a humanoid hand, you see a tentacle, a gray tentacle that you recognize as an extension of your body, but this is not your body. But you stretch your senses and you stretch your awareness, and you feel tentacles not just where your arms and legs should be, but sprouting all out of your back. Tarim seems to notice this now and see you, and his eyes fill with terror, and he begins to scream. His screams are so loud that they cause you to flinch. You could feel the ringing in your eardrums as these screams of terror just pierce directly through. It causes you such immense discomfort that all you can think about is doing whatever it takes to make that screaming stop. You flinch and you look back and the child still screams. All around him are floating eyes. These disembodied eyes float all around him, never taking their gaze from him, and there are perhaps dozens of floating eyeballs, so these glowing orbs. However, it's difficult to discern them because they constantly wink in and out of existence. But now they're suddenly each writhed in green flame. These eyes aren't bothered by them. They seem to be the source of this green fire. And this green fire produces noxious black smoke. That smoke begins to fill the cavern, slowly blotting out the light from the cages, slowly enveloping the boy. He screams louder and louder in terror as the smoke overcomes him, and suddenly screams turn to coughs, and coughs turn to hacks, and hacks turn to wheezes, and he fades away as he's enveloped in this black smoke. And as he's taken away from your vision, you see that his tears have turned to blood. The blood flows all down his face, and just as he finally disappears from your vision, as he finally fades out, there is a glowing symbol of a circle and an arrow upward. It's where his face was. But you don't have time to make out what the symbol is, as the smoke envelops him finally, and you wake with a start. You wake, you don't know how much time has passed. You're in a cold sweat. Your breathing is heavy and ragged. And that clinging sensation, that breeze of the cavern still sticks to your skin. It kind of clings to you even as you recognize that you are back in the lock shop and that was all just a dream. You have your spell slots back.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. You also have a level of